This week on Culture File, we're going to hear some of those voices from the weekend, beginning today with an environmental hip-hop artist. The Accidental Rapper is a climate activist who fell upon hip-hop as a platform for dropping both eco-science and eco-politics.
Food shortage, extreme weather and societal tension. If you're not worried about the climate, you're not paying attention to the forces of greed versus the forces of nature. Optimism, boys, won't stop the melting of glaciers. Yeah, everything looks rosy out the Overton window. Meanwhile, temperatures rise.
I'm the Accidental Rapper. I'm an activist and a rapper. I write about a lot of social justice and environmental issues, and I use hip-hop as a way to get those issues across to a wider audience.
Double speak, on repeat. Are you having a laugh? Energy security from Freedom Gas. It's fossil gas.
I was asked to come perform at the IMA Earth Rising event. So not my usual kind of venue for gigs or whatever, but all the events here are themed around climate change and kind of how we can help to solve that issue, I guess. A lot of really creative people putting together exhibits, kind of reimagining how the future could look. I've just finished my own set. I did a kind of an hour-long lecture/gig talking about climate change issues, the impacts of our kind of modern lives and our disconnection with like where our food comes from, where our clothes come from, like the jobs that we work and how unnatural all of that can seem. And then like talk about data centres and gas, LNG terminals and fossil gas plants, some of the kind of really emissions heavy issues we see in Ireland, as well as the trade deals and the international agreements that keep us locked into those systems. KRS-One has a really good lecture where he talks about there's two brands of hip-hop. There's hip-hop with a capital H and hip-hop with a lowercase h. Hip-hop with a capital H being the original culture and that whole movement and that kind of progressive movement in New York in the 80s and stuff. It wasn't uncommon to hear guys saying like, are you kicking knowledge, are you dropping science? Like intellectualism and rap were not separate things, they were one of the same.
What happened?
Yeah, so hip-hop with a small h came in, which is the kind of mainstream hip-hop that we see now, which is essentially advertising. It's a 3-minute song that advertises Lamborghinis and Peroni. I suppose I'd like to think that I'm invoking the spirit of original hip-hop. You can say a lot in 3 minutes at 85 BPM, you know what I mean?
Where do your beats come from?
All over. A lot of them, like, I've made a few beats myself, but I'm not great at it. As I said, I don't really have a musical background. I'm learning guitar. I do some of my performances on the acoustic guitar, but today I haven't because I banjaxed my finger playing hurling last weekend.
Hypocrisy over democracy. Free trade versus freedom. You just watch and see. Education, healthcare, climate change, social protection, workers' rights, and the minimum wage. Our sovereignty, our climate, yeah, you see it all burned.
Yeah, I remember how this whole thing started. I was putting on an event before with an activist group. I just wrote a rhyme about the topic. It was about food sovereignty, which again, super niche, like not something that you would expect in a rap. But people really liked it, and yeah, they used to get me up with other stuff. Say, oh, do your rap again, or the house party and stuff. And I ended up kind of writing a second one, and people like that. The whole thing just grew from there, but it was never a plan, it wasn't intentional. It just happened.
Don't ratify the deal. There's just too much at stake. It's a joke that this shit is even up for debate.
Stop the CID.
I was doing all this pretty much anonymously up until about 2 months ago. A few friends had seen me perform and they knew about it, but like my family didn't know about it, the people I lived with didn't know about it. That's kind of why I had to have a name, so I went with the Accidental Rapper.
But you're out now.
I'm out now, yeah. Yeah, it was getting... when I got booked to play Electric Picnic, a lot of my friends were already going, and I was like, it's going to be too hard to avoid it and to kind of hide it from them, I guess. So yeah, it was also a good opportunity for them to see me live at Electric Picnic. It was like validation, I suppose. As I said, I'd been quite unsure about even the topics I talk about are very niche topics, even for hip hop. But yeah, no, I'm out of the closet now.
Not to mention the delays caused by chilling effects. Largest landlord in the state is Canadian owned. Somehow I doubt they'd let us build many affordable homes until the Taoiseach.
I have a song about CETA, which is the Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement, which is a trade deal between Canada and the EU. This all sounds incredibly boring because it's designed to be. it's not for public consumption. These trade deals are discussed behind closed doors. They're sold to us as free trade agreements. They have almost nothing to do with free trade. They're, as Noam Chomsky likes to say, they're investor rights agreements. They're about protecting investors over the wider society. They can be used to stop minimum wages from rising. They can be used to stop public health regulations on products. They can be used to stop climate action happening. They can be used to stop, as I said, plain packaging on cigarettes. An example I give is Australia. When they brought in plain packaging on cigarettes, which is a good thing for their citizens, they were sued by Philip Morris, a tobacco giant, because this would impact Philip Morris's future expected profits. So Philip Morris will say, if you bring in this law that helps your people, we'll have less profits, we'll sell less cigarettes, so you owe us hundreds of millions of dollars. And the threat with that is there's what's called a chilling effect on regulation, where policymakers and lawmakers will say, rather than bringing this new law, it's too much hassle, we'll just have to go through the courts and it'll take years and it'll take lots of money, we just won't do it. And then we all suffer just so that a corporation can have increased profits over the long run.
It's something you point out in that song, that, if we'd have had that regulation in Ireland, we'd never have managed a smoking ban.
No, it would not have happened. So Ireland actually were pretty fortunate compared to other countries. The issue with these trade agreements is what's known as an ISDS clause, Investor State Dispute Settlement Clause, which is what allows foreign companies to take governments to court.
Ireland is only currently in one trade agreement that has that clause. Some countries have loads of them. We're at the moment we're involved in the ECT, or the Energy Charter Treaty.
CETA is one that we're in negotiations with. We haven't ratified it. The song is to stop CETA and to have that ratification not happen. But there's a big movement across Europe now for the EU and for all the countries involved to pull out of the Energy Charter Treaty, or to exit the ECT. Last week the Netherlands pulled out, Spain have pulled out, Poland have pulled out, Germany, Belgium and France are looking at ways that they can pull out of it. Italy left it years ago. But yeah, we're still currently in it. But I would be looking for Eamon Ryan and Simon Coveney, I suppose, to exit Ireland from the ECT over the next couple of months. That is just called Stop CETA, plain and simple.
Stop the power and the greed and the suing of nations by the profit-driven CEOs of global corporations. Stop